All right, Owen Benjamin is with us, stand-up comedian, actor, podcast host, pianist, a big pianist.
Huge pianist.
Never afraid to say, he's never afraid to share his unique perspective, it says on this sheet, and it's gotten you banned from this is the only place in California where you're now allowed to be, right?
I think they just passed a law where I'm banned from this room. Yeah, I'm permanently banned from Twitter. It's hilarious. But Farrakhan isn't, but I am.
Oh, well, Farrakhan, you mean Brother Farrakhan, or Reverend Farrakhan.
Just preaching love.
So what happened? What did you do now?
It was David Hogg. I said that someone who, doesn't, it's not even a bad word, you could say it on whatever, but I said someone who doesn't have pubes can't tell a grown man whether or not he can own a gun or not. So
fair enough.
Yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And it's like to that, I got this shame mob, they kicked me off. They kicked off my backup account. I had Owen Benjamin, Tee-hee. And they got to that too. And then I got a strike on YouTube, so I couldn't live stream anymore. All in one night, just this big.
Who is the mob?
Antifa and NAMBLA and all these just disgusting human beings.
Wait, NAMBLA is the boy love.
The man boy stuff, yeah.
Man boy love. So pedophiles got you kicked off.
Dude, pedophiles have like lobbyists now.
Wait, this is wonderful. This is pedophiles said this man is dangerous because he made a joke again?
Yeah, because I had Jordan Peterson on my show, and we were talking about whether or not pedophiles deserve free speech, and I'm torn up about it because I'm a free speech absolutist, but at the same time, it drives me insane. And we were like working out how to deal with that. And when I stood up for the against trans children with the hormone blockers and stuff, it attracted a lot of people to me that want to protect kids. And so that also attracted a lot of pedophiles to me that hate me. And so they are like proud now. Like Vice even does articles, Salon does articles where it's like, I'm a pedophile, not a monster. Their whole thing is,
wait.
This is real.
No, if you're a pedophile, you are a monster. I mean, if you're
it's
an
the definition
pedophile.
of a monster.
Yeah.
Like I'm friends with people who've killed people, and I can still be friends with them.
Yeah, of course.
Someone stole their bike. I'm just kidding. But anybody who hurts a kid, you know that there's no coming back from that. If there's an intentional hurting of a child, and that's the newest part of the normalization process, where it's like minor attracted people. That's what they call themselves.
Minor attracted people.
Yeah. MAPS or something. It's like, I'm dead serious. And so I do a bit now about LGBTQAI and how it started with the L's and then just kept getting crazier. And how the L's are now like, we should have just knitted sweaters. Because the whole thing is based on no discrimination, and your whole life has to be discrimination.
Of course, you're discriminating.
Like, I only have sex with one woman, it's my wife. That's called discrimination. I don't eat this because it's not a banana. That's discrimination. So it's like, if you let everyone in the party, you let everyone in the party. And it went to the L's to the G's, and then the B's took a turn when you don't know if you can go camping with those guys. You're like, you guys are down with anyone? They're like, anyone. You're like, this is getting intense. And then the T's brought in postmodernism, and now you got the P's.
So is there a limit to, I saw you do a routine, it actually wasn't even a comedy routine, it was actually a discussion about the N-word.
Yeah.
Is there a limit, is there a danger that people on the right, when they take the red pill, when they see that we're being silenced, when they see that the silence is in service to a political point of view, it's not just silencing people to be polite. It's not just saying don't say that, it's a dirty word. It's in service of a political point of view. Is there a danger you go too far in the other direction? You start to stop
absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I took a lot of care to never say anything racist, and I don't use that word in my life. And I will say N-word on your show because we're friends and I respect you. But when you're going after the multi-headed hydra, you got to go for the heart. And so that's the most taboo word there is. And so I got fascinated by it. Like, why? It's such an archaic, silly word. It almost says more about the speaker of the word than the person. It makes you sound like an ignorant person.
Right.
And so, I mean, that brings me down the road of the rhetorical conspiracy theory of the welfare state and how we have to continuously reinforce that black people by nature are victims. Therefore, we can rob trillions of dollars from our people.
Right.
And I got fascinated by it. And so, yeah, I don't want to be defined by the crazy people who hate me. And you have a great point about going too far the other direction. But that's why I made sure I never use that word in my personal life, and I don't say anything racist. Right. It's just like saying N-word. I saw this meme that blew my mind because it said, if we take the N-word out of To Kill a Mockingbird, what happens to rap lyrics? And the thing that blew my mind was that they said N-word in an anti-censorship meme. And that was this weird manipulation because my mom teaches To Kill a Mockingbird and Huck Finn and a lot of these things that are now being censored. Like they're taking words right out.
I know. Yeah.
And so I'm like, what does that say that people are complying to this, even in a meme about censorship? So I just went for it because as George Carlin says, political correctness is fascism disguised as politeness.
That's right. It's hijacking our system of manners, basically.
Yeah.
What about, Christopher Hitchens wrote a piece when he said that in which he said women are not as funny as men.
I agree with that in general, but there's exceptions.
And the feminists were like, that's not funny,
Right. They proved his point immediately.
Proved the point immediately. So the feminists come after you because you do a couple of bits. You have a song that has it's every man's relationship that actually made me cry. It made me laugh so hard I was crying.
Oh, thanks. Well, that's the irony of my career. My main thing is men and women stuff.
Sure.
Like I don't like this crazy PC turn it took.
Yeah.
But I was obligated to do it because I wasn't allowed to do men and women or different stuff. And you can ignore politics, but politics won't ignore you, Right. And so what was the original question?
The feminists come after you.
Yeah, at first, and then they just got exhausted. And my wife is so, she's almost, I didn't even realize how much kryptonite she has to feminists because she's half Hispanic. She has her master's in engineering and she's a stay-at-home mom and she's hilarious and very supportive of me. So it's just this crazy.
She has set this country back 20 years.
I know.
By herself.
She was an engineer, chose to be a stay-at-home mom, fortunately, because I can work enough and hopefully not get banned by too many more platforms. But, and just the love we have for each other that it's just so hard to come at her and me now because I don't have that weakness of being a womanizer or any of that stuff that makes it so easy for feminists to put you in that hole. And I don't have that.
Right.
So it's, they can try, but they just sound silly. And they're so far gone at this point. Like the wage gap has been disproven by MIT.
That doesn't matter. Yeah, we still have to have equal wage day.
What about equal death? Like my brother's a lumberjack.
Yeah.
97% of work-related deaths are male. Like when are we gonna close that gap? Want to get into underwater welding, ladies? Come on, lay some bricks.
So how bad, do you still tour?
Yeah, it's oddly been good for my career. It's almost like when you don't kneel and you face the swarm and you think, okay, I'm going to now be an arborist. Like for real, I still do tree work with my brother just so I know that they can't take it.
That you can make a living, you mean?
Yeah, trees are going to keep growing no matter how many people go to Yale.
So when you go on the road, do you face actual
No, it's all online.
It's all online.
Oh, my crowd is so nice too. It's like all these clubs and theaters, whenever it's over, they're like, your audience is so kind.
Yeah.
And they're like family people and there's no protesting. It's like, it's all this crazy online vitriol that comes from people that I honestly think they now hate joy. Like someone who's like, oh, I love my family. I'm so honored to do that. They're like, you like David Hogg's pubes. And you're like, what? It's like, knock, knock. They're like, home invasion statistics. And you're like, you're being a buzzkill on purpose. And I believe that there is privilege in the world, but it comes from having married parents and stuff. Like I was raised well.
Right. That's right.
And so as much as our families have been through a lot, at least they were married, and I do have a leg up in life, and that's why. Because my parents had a stable home so that I could learn how to deal with chaos in the world. It's not because I'm white, Do
you think this is getting better or worse? I was just before you came in.
Way worse.
It's getting worse.
It's like exponential. I now look at stuff I did on Comedy Central in 2014, and I would be literally labeled it doesn't end.
Yeah.
They're saying trees are racist.
I'm sorry, I haven't.
No, there's a whole thing going now, because my brother loves trees, and people now are sending me all these pictures where it's like they'll show these beautiful southern trees, and people are like, "You shouldn't do that; it's associated with lynchings."
No, you're joking.
Oh, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
There's now height privilege. I'm dead serious.
You're really tall. I mean,
I'm 6'7", and I'm telling you, there's height privilege at 6 feet. 6'7", you're not allowed on roller coasters. There's a lot of oppression. You go into
oppression. That's right.
You go into an old folks' home, you see no one my height. So apparently we don't make it too far. But and our circulation isn't. I hit my foot with an axe not that long ago, and I didn't even feel it because it's so far away from my brain.
In about 2 weeks, you'll feel it. It'll get there. The message will get there.
I breastfed too long.
But these are people. These people Are they on the outskirts, do you think? I
They're
mean,
socialists.
The stuff they're saying is so crazy. But do they have you think they have real power?
Yeah, because they oddly go along with expanding government.
Right.
Where it's like they're trying, their children trying to give power to their father that wants to kill them. Yeah. You know, it's these people, the reason that they have power, the reason Antifa wasn't, I've seen Antifa strangle a guy almost to death.
I know, beat the hell out of people with sticks.
Yeah, and it's like, no, in person I saw that once.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one of my events, but it was crazy. And to see these Don Lemon characters right out of the Hunger Games, you know, just this, hello. And to see them not address that and just keep talking about, Charlottesville was horrifying, but a schizophrenic hit a lady with a car. You know, that's awful, obviously, but so is corn syrup, you know? And it's like, and to see Antifa, to see like Tina Fey and these people be like, yeah, they fight fascists like your grandparents fought the fascists. And you're like, what?
It's like my grandparents weren't wearing black masks.
No, you know you're the bad guy when you have to wear a mask.
And when you have to wear a mask, that's always a giveaway.
It's the same with the SS. I used to do a bit about that where it's like Franz. It's like, hey Franz, why are we wearing skulls on our lapels? You think we may be the bad guys?
Was that you? Was that your bit?
I stopped doing the bit because I realized a British guy had done it in the 80s. But it was obscure. It was totally obscure. But I'm pretty pure with that stuff. So I'm like, I had to bail on it, even though it was awesome.
Do you ever associate at all with left-wing comedians or liberal comedians?
Yeah, there are a lot of they're women sometimes because I think leftism goes a lot better with being a woman because it's how you take care of a toddler. And I'm dead serious. It like goes with their nature where it's like, no one's wrong, everyone's safe, like any threat's bad. Like that's, and men, it's more about fairness and rules and work.
Right.
Where it's like, if you break the rules, you're out because then we'll get trampled by an elephant.
You know, it is true, and men care about truth a lot more, that you're actually telling the truth. That I think women are like on another plane about this.
I'm telling you, I used to do a bit, but it's just, some of my bits are just fat. I don't even know if they're jokes anymore. It's how men are capitalists and women are communists, where it's like women, like if they're out in a group, the one having the worst time sets the tone for the whole group. Like 5 of them are having a blast, and Tina's like, oh my God, Brian's here with a new girl. And all the other girls are like, we gotta get out of here, Tina's sad. And then the worst dictates, and men are the opposite, where if one guy's like, I'm sad, it's like, get out of here. But the opposite is true, where like men reward greatness, where it's like, oh, he's really smart. Let's give him a desk and a microphone. That's awesome. He's the fastest. Make him captain. Women are like, she's the prettiest. Tell everybody she has herpes. You know? And it's like the tallest nail gets hammered down. And I think it is a male-female thing. And I think that's one reason why there's all this rhetoric against males, especially white males, because they always vote for a smaller government.
So you're actually saying that women should not be allowed to vote. I mean, that's basically where we're going with it.
Well, if they want to do bucket work, remember what was that called? The bucket? Like back in the day, like when it first happened, a lot of women didn't want to vote. This is funny. I obviously think women should vote. I mean, I don't think you should actually go do it though, because you make horrifying decisions. But you get drafted if you voted, and you also had to be part of like the anti-fire brigade. Like you had to do bucket duty.
Yeah.
And all these women were like, no, we don't want to vote. It's all these dumb games.
If we had only listened to those women.
I know, I do a bit about it, but I need a piano.
Well, so I'm out of time. I'm unfortunately.
I could talk to you forever, man.
I know.
This is a blast.
Really funny. What are you going to do now? I mean, first of all, are you ever going to get back on Twitter?
No.
No, you're done.
No, I'm done with that
now
noise.
You have a lot more time in your day.
Well, actually, I have someone do at Owen Comedy, and I never touch it, so they can't, because they know my IP address. Anytime I even try, I'm out.
Really?
Yeah, and so, and let's just say she's from a country that isn't very intimidatable, Israel. And so but that's nothing. You can find me at patreon.com/WDTL, because even if it's $1 a month, they won't shut it down because trolls don't pay ever. Like even if it's $1, that separates everything. It's like all the trolls go to that, and also hugepianist.com and vimeo.com/Owen Benjamin for morning streams, live streams with the Unbearables.
Vimeo should get a lot more credit.
I love Vimeo.
They let everybody on. I mean, why don't they get more cred for this?
Because they're in New York and not San Francisco, and they're not riddled with soybeans.
Got it. Okay. Owen Benjamin, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. It's great to see you. And I hope you'll come back.